So the next 12 months is very busy. So in November, you've got Junior Pan Am Games, and then follow straight away going into Short Course Worlds for the seniors. Then going into next year, a small break leading into Carifta. But then after Carifta, you have CAC, you have Commonwealth Games, World Junior Championships. So it's a very, very busy 12 months.
And how are you guys going to be able to pick those athletes? Is it time-based? How are you guys going to be able to maintain those athletes and make sure I pick the right athletes to represent the country?
All the major international meets have an A and a B cut. So for things like Junior Pan Am, I know there's already a long list being printed, which has got like 19 swimmers that have got A or B cuts within the Bahamas. So it shows that at junior level, we are stepping up to another level of swimming. You know, you go back 5-10 years, you might have had 4 or 5 make it. Now we're looking at 18, 19 that have got A or B cuts. Going on to World Short Course, you're allowed 2 male swimmers and 2 female swimmers, unless you have more swimmers on A cuts. And the big letter is A. But, basically, to go to an Olympics now, you need to have the A cut. And the A cut is based on the 14th place of the previous Olympics. So like Jo coming 13th, she's going to know that the time she has to make to go to Paris will be very similar to what she's swimming right now. So she's in a good position.
How do you motivate our young athletes, junior athletes that are swimming, because they then haven't competed in a while? There was no Curfew for 2 consecutive years, I believe. How do you motivate them to still want to swim and be competitive, knowing that for certain that you don't know when you're going to be able to swim again from an international standpoint?
With the very best of the junior swimmers, you have to change their mindset. They got to start to become, even though they're still juniors, a senior swimmer. So the mindset has to totally change, and don't be focused on just those little short-term things that are 1 or 2 months ahead. Start thinking in terms of your long-term future. You know, where do you need to be in 3, 4, 5 years' time? So it's not just looking about next year, it's looking about 2023. We got Pan American Games as well, 2024. All right, obviously Paris. So it's the case of the better the swimmer is, get them to really focus on what is required long-term, not just short-term.
Great answer. There you go. That's Andy Lovett, the coach of this year's 2020 Olympic Games. We had Joanna Evans on the show as well. Sports 360 is back, and we're glad to have both of this athlete and the coach from Grand Bahama, join us here today on Sports 360. We'll be back next week with another live session of Sports 360.
You are a healthcare worker. Thank you for fighting on the front lines against COVID-19. It is normal to feel stressed when taking care of others who don't feel well. But remember to take care of yourself. Don't forget to rest between shifts, eat healthy meals, engage in physical activity, and stay connected to family and friends. Avoid harmful coping strategies like drinking alcohol. For managers of healthcare workers, the same tips apply to you. Here's how you can help. Consistently give updates. Rotate staff between high and low stress level functions. Encourage work breaks and ensure that they know where they can find help. We are here for you.
Hi, I'm Dr. Pinder. During this global pandemic, we ask for you to be responsible. As we fight the COVID-19 virus together, we would like to encourage you to do the following. Wash your hands. Cover your mouth and nose with a flex elbow or tissue when coughing and sneezing. Practice social distancing by staying 6 feet apart. Avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth, and if you must go out, wear a mask. We stay here for you. Please stay home for us. To those of you on the front line, we salute you as we continue this fight together.
This message has been brought to you by the Ministry of Health in conjunction with GD Media Solutions and this television station.
You're watching the ZNS Network, the People's Station.
Coming up in the news tonight, the remaining cabinet ministers named and sworn in today. Also, the health minister already on Grand Bahama assessing the healthcare needs on this island. And the Kingdom Government Movement leader says that his party is here to stay. The Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, starts now.
This is the Bahamas Tonight Northern Edition.
Good evening, Bahamas. I'm Shashina Roll-Parkinson. As always, it is so great to have you with us. Topping news this evening, the Davis administration cabinet is now complete. This coming after a swearing-in ceremony in the nation's capital late this afternoon. Among the appointments, 2 members of parliament from Grand Bahama who will serve in the 21-member cabinet. Tonight, the Prime Minister is expressing confidence in his team and their mission to build a lasting legacy for future generations to come.
My cabinet colleagues.
Prime Minister Philip Ray Davis proudly announcing the remainder of his cabinet, which includes Obadiah Welshcombe, the new Minister of Social Services and Urban Renewal, Keith Bell, the Minister of Labor and Immigration, Vaughn Miller, the Minister of Environment and Natural Resources, JoBeth Colby Davis, the Minister of Transport and Housing, Ginger Moxey, the Minister of Grand Bahama, Mario Bolag, the Minister of Youth, Sports and Culture, Basil McIntosh, the Minister of State for Environment, Pia Glover, the Minister of State for Public Service, Lisa Ramming, the Minister of State for Social Services and Urban Development, Miles Sirota, Minister of State in the Office of the Prime Minister, Zane Lightbourne, the Minister of State for Education and Technical Training. The nation's leader says 2-time cabinet minister and member of parliament for West Grand Bahama and Bimini, Obi Welshcombe, comes with a deep knowledge and wealth of experience.
It is because of this deep knowledge and lengthy experience of government that I have appointed him as Minister of Social Services and Urban Development. In recent years, our national suffering has caused than ever before to have to rely on the support of the state. I am keen that our administration does so with care and compassion, and that the bureaucracy is minimized so that effective help and support is given to those who need it most.
It was widely speculated as to who would be the next minister for Grand Bahama, but confirmation coming today placing Ginger Moxey as the minister to represent this island around the cabinet table. Davis says Moxey, a former executive at the Grand Bahama Port Authority, comes with entrepreneurial skills and deep ties to the Grand Bahama community.
2 years after the passage of Hurricane Dorian, the people of Grand Bahama have yet to return to anything like a state of normality. This, coupled with several major strategic missteps in recent years, means that our second largest island and economy is in desperate need of wisdom, experience, innovation, compassion, and a high degree of competence. As Minister for Grand Bahama, Mrs. Ginger Moxey is ideal suited for the job.
He adds that together, this team will bring about the change needed to transform this country.
Our team of experienced and new parliamentarians have already begun to demonstrate the kind of teamwork that is required. While each title and role carries specific responsibilities, we understand fully that it is by working together that we can achieve the best results.
Meantime, the newly appointed Minister of Health and Wellness making his first official visit to Grand Bahama today. Minister Dr. Michael Darville met with top officials at the Grand Bahama Health Services as he was taken on an extensive tour to assess the needs and challenges that are affecting the quality of healthcare services on this island. On his second day on the job as Minister of Health and Wellness, Dr. Michael Darville is already on Grand Bahama touring the Rand Memorial Hospital as well as the 8 Mile Rock Clinic. Now, these issues are far and wide in these facilities. They include issues with COVID-19, low morale, outstanding payments, as well as access or the lack of equipment. But he says the government has a plan in consultation with the health practitioners.
It was a warm welcome for the health minister, who is no stranger to Grand Bahama after having served as minister of Grand Bahama from 2012 to 2017. The first stop was to the chapel, where prayers were lifted.
We ask wisdom, knowledge, understanding that they will be able to execute their duties, their Father.
Then on to a thorough tour led by Administrator Sharon Williams of the various departments, including the COVID ward, the surgical wards, the cafeteria, and critical areas. The minister says there's a lot of work to do, especially in the face of a global pandemic, as he highlights what's most important at this time.
The first thing we want to do is to improve our healthcare delivery systems. We have COVID cases causing our hospital to work beyond capacity. A lot of other essential medical services are being neglected because we have to deal with the pandemic. I need to fix that immediately to ensure that we have outcomes and reduce the cases of morbidity and mortality that we are seeing in the northern region as a result of people suffering from chronic communicable diseases are actually now in a situation where they can't access the services.
Also high on the agenda is hearing the cries of health practitioners who have had a myriad of concerns that they say have been overlooked.
Between me and you, the health officials are the ones who have been carrying us for the last year and a half, possibly 2 years. They're exhausted. Some of them are underpaid. Some of them have not been paid. Some of them have been neglected. Some of their voices are not being heard, and we have to fix it. We are in this together.
He says his PLP government came in with a short, medium, and long-term plan to improve health services. The critical list also includes the age-old concern of bed shortages and ensuring that nurses are working in the right environment.
We're going to have to improve the bed shortages because we are determined to ensure that when local residents access this particular facility, we want to ensure that the medical outcomes are favorable, and we want to stop the negativity that sometimes we keep hearing about the conditions of the Rand Memorial Hospital. We have to improve the image, we have to improve the quality of healthcare delivery, and we need to ensure that the Bahamians or Grand Bahamians everywhere feel comfortable to come to the Rand Memorial Hospital without fear of being exposed to any form of infectious disease.
The minister also taking a tour at the 8 Mount Rock facilities, where he met with healthcare workers and was updated on some of their challenges.
We have some staff out right now.
Yeah.
It's not feeling well, so they have to do their COVID testing.
Expansive testing has been a campaign promise, and one the minister says that the government will live up to. But the question remains, what will happen to the curfew?
You realize that one of the first things we did, we removed the curfew until 12 o'clock. A lot of people have criticized that move, but we feel confident that we must be able to juggle the economy and the delivery of health care. So once again, we are pleading to the general public. Please follow the public health care measures that we put in place. I would definitely be working with the Ministry of National Security to ensure that our protocols that are in place are policed.
Now, today's tour ended here at the office of the Prime Minister, where the health minister met with health practitioners in a closed meeting to address some of their immediate concerns. Now, Dr. Darville is also expected to make a stop in Abaco today and then move on to continuing his health tour on islands throughout the country. Well, a new minister has also been sworn in to head the Ministry of Education. The Honorable Glenys Hannah Martin becomes the second female to hold the post in recent time. Tonight, local educators are welcoming the new minister. Jay Philippe reports.
On September 20th, 2021, the Honorable Glenys Hannah Martin was appointed as the Minister of Education and Technical and Vocational Training. The longtime MP has been a Member of Parliament for Angliston since 2002. Minister Hannah Martin previously served as the Minister of Transport and Aviation, but now takes on a new position as the face of education in the country. Here in Grand Bahama, a number of educators, including 41-year veteran teacher Sandra Major, is thrilled to have the Honorable Hannah Martin as the Minister of Education.
She's new to the role, as we know, but she's given an opportunity to see how she's going to handle this position she's been given, and we welcome it because it's really good to see a fresh new face. And she said that she's willing to work, she's willing to wait and talk to people involved, and then she makes decisions. So once she includes us, I am Becca Wu, the president of the Becca Wu, and once she includes us in the negotiations, in the talks, we welcome her with open arms.
Principal of Martintown Primary, Leslie Newton, says she's open to someone with new perspective as a decision maker.
It's always good to get someone fresh coming in, and I'm sure she will do the best for us, and just looking forward to continuing to work in education.
Over at Hugh Campbell Primary, second-year principal Rodney Bether believes that the Honorable Glennis Hannah Martin's experience in the cabinet and politics will help make the transition to education seamless.
Being a former minister in other departments, I'm sure she'll do well in Ministry of Education. At this present time, we're going through something we've never experienced in education, and I'm sure the experience that she would have gained over the years will help her navigate through this challenging, but I'm sure that she will do well.
Also, educator Melinda Green at Hugh Campbell Primary says it's great to see a female as the new Minister of Education.
I am excited about her being our education minister, and I just can't wait to see what looking at the ministry from a female point of view would be for us here in the Bahamas. So I'm really excited. I can't wait to see what she has to say. I can't wait for her to visit us here at Hugh Campbell.
I'm Jay Philippe, ZNS Network News.
In other news, leader of the Kingdom Government Movement giving an observation in the country's general election and how his party fared at the polls. The KGM leader is congratulating the Progressive Liberal Party on the win and wishes them much success as they prepare to usher in a new day in the Bahamas. Ramiko Knowles has more.
Founded in 2018 by Dr. Kevin King, the Kingdom Government Movement is one of the many political groups entering the country's general election. The KGM fielded 14 candidates. Dr. King offered himself for candidacy in East Grand Bahama and received over 90 votes at the polls.
I'd like to congratulate the Honorable Brave Davis for his election victory, and we wish them well. As in 2012, the PLP has been given an overwhelming mandate by the citizens of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, and we hope that they do the country proud, as all governments do some good.
There was a significant amount of political organizations and independent candidates vying for leadership and an opportunity to govern the country's affairs. But Dr. King believes that the electorate have not concluded on a viable alternative for governance other than the Progressive Liberal Party or the Free National Movement.
One would have liked to wake up that morning or that night and say, wow, the Bahamas have matured. The electorate has matured. The citizens have matured, but we're not quite there yet, but it's coming. There is no doubt that it's coming.
He says the KGM would have contested all of the parliamentary seats, but they were caught off guard. Although a snap election was rumored to happen, Dr. King says he did not think the former Prime Minister would call an early election, and here is why.
His popularity was not strong. It was faltering at best. And if he wanted to hold on to political power, I think he'd have, or should have, let it go to the extent to all the way to May. Maybe he would have been able to do some things to strengthen his position.
Now that the elections are over, he tells us what's next for the KGM.
We go into phase 2. And what that means is we transition from a political organization now to an NGO, where we will open 14 constituency offices in those constituencies where we contested. And we will continue our mandate to the citizens of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas in that regard.
Ramiko Knowles, ZNS Network News.
The Ministry of Health reporting 91 new COVID-19 cases. New Providence recording the vast majority at 72, 10 in Grand Bahama, 8 in Eleuthera, and 1 in Inagua. 3 cases in New Providence have a history of travel within the past 14 days. The number of hospitalized cases is showing a slight decline at 155, with 24 cases in Grand Bahama with 6 in ICU. The COVID-19 death toll stands at 512. Stay with us. We'll be back right after this.
Down now. Treat large and small generators, propane and butane stoves, LED flashlights, fuel canisters, coolers, batteries, gas and electric chainsaws, cooking supplies, tarps, matches, duct tape, and more.
The Bahamas Institute of Business and Technology transformed my life. It gave me the opportunities that I needed to succeed. I benefited from their affordability and was able to complete my associate's degree on time. Their day, evening, and weekend classes meant that I didn't have to leave home or quit my job to pursue my dreams. Generous scholarships and installment plans made it easy for me to cope financially. BIBT was the right choice for me. Why not make it your choice?
Apply today at bibtbahamas.com.
Shop the bracelet event September 23rd to the 27th at Pandora, Port Lacaya.
My cabinet colleagues.
Take your time, take your time. You sure, right, yo?
Money short.
You sure? All right.
Money short.
Okay, okay. Miss.
You know Lou's a buying, right?
Oh, well, you must be getting kids V-Late. Man, I ain't bring no money like that. Plus, you know you greedy.
Well, today is your lucky day.
Oh.
Check out the ZNS Shopping Network. See what deals they have on food.
Look here. Boy, Madcap got some super deals. Check it out. You got a $25 coupon for 15 and a $20 coupon for 10.
Well, Madcap it is.
All right. Hey, I roll him at you, eh?
Log on to ZNSShoppingNetwork.com and get your deals today.
That's what I told her. Bring the winding thing here. This is Rick and Script, so show me emotion. Hey, wind and go down low.
The King of the North is back. Power 104.5 FM.
Your #1 news team covering the North. The Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
Welcome back. The Prime Minister of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, the Honorable Philip Davis, issuing a statement on the passing of the former Hotel Union President, Thomas Bastian. Prime Minister Davis says the Bahamas has lost a giant of the labor movement and a nation builder, and notes that Bastian was credited with building the Bahamas Hotel Catering and Allied Workers Union into one of the largest and most powerful labor unions in the Bahamas. The Workers' Bank, a daycare center, a laundromat, a restaurant, and 3 union buildings were among the union's impressive list of commercial acquisitions and extensive real estate holdings under the leadership of Dr. Bastian. The Prime Minister says that he was a good friend and he always admired Bastian's conviction, expressed through his ardent advocacy for the rights and protection of the Bahamian worker. He notes that the rights and employment benefits enjoyed by hotel workers today are the result of Dr. Thomas Bastian's dogged tenacity and determination in protecting the rights and job security of hotel workers. The Prime Minister says that even though they found themselves sometimes on opposite sides of the negotiating table, he was always respectful of Dr. Bastian, his colleagues, and the process. He says Thomas was the architect behind 2 memoranda of understanding with the Progressive Liberal Party on the way forward for Bahamian workers, one signed in 1977 and the most recent MOU signed in 2021. In addition, he says his passing brings to an end a significant era in the country's labor movement, and notes that Thomas Bastian has left big shoes to be filled with many miles to travel before rest is taken. In other news, former General Secretary of the Hotel Workers Union, Leo Douglas, also remembering the life of former Hotel Union President Thomas Bastian, who passed away today. Douglas says he's worked with him for many years and describes him as a man who has contributed much to the labor movement.
He has done many things. When it comes to the Workers' Bank now, that is now on Harold Road, that complex there. He built that and all that complex. They're building in Eleuthera that the police now do own. He built that as well. So he was the architect of buildings, and he left a legacy behind with his work that he has done.
Douglas adds that Dr. Bastian must be credited for many of the benefits that employees received through the hotel union.
When you look in the hotel industry, many benefits the workers are receiving now. But one particular item is the pension fund that he assists in putting in place for the workers, and many thousands of people now are receiving that benefit the first of every month. You find they go and collect their pension from every sector of the Bahamas. So he had done a good work, and now may he rest from his.
And now it's time for sports with Jay Philippe.
I'm Jay Philippe and welcome to Sports. Jonquel Jones continues to shine on the basketball court, but let's start this one with Coach Mario Boleg, former BBF president and now the new Minister of Youth, Sports and Culture. Mario Boleg now leads the charge for sports in the country. The former national team basketball coach was appointed as the new Minister of Youth, Sports and Culture at the ceremony for cabinet ministers held in New Providence. Boleg helped lead CC Sweden to multiple Hugh Campbell championships and most recently was the president of the Bahamas Basketball Federation. Sticking with basketball, Jonquel Jones, a unanimous pick for WNBA Player of the Year. Jonquel Jones is no stranger to winning WNBA awards. In previous years, the Connecticut Sun forward has been honored by the media with votes on the weekly WNBA player pool as the 6th Woman of the Year and Most Improved Player. This year, the 6'6" Jones is the unanimous AP Player of the Year honors by the 14-member panel. Now in tennis, Grand Baron Abigail Sims and her Indiana Tech women's tennis team finished with a pair of wins at the IWU Fall Classic over Olivet Nazarene University 5-0 and Huntington University 4-0. Sims and her partner wrapped up the win for Tech with a 6-1, 7-5 and 6-3, 6-1 decision at number 3 and 6 respectively. Her team returns to action September 29th with the start of the ITA Midwest Regional Championships hosted by Indiana Wesleyan University. That's a quick check on sports. I'm Jay Philippe. Be blessed.
Third Dimension on Yellow Pine Street introduces its new home improvement center. Step into our brand new, fully stocked showroom for the latest in doors, tiles, housewares, kitchenwares, bathwares, vanities, power tools, electrical, and plumbing supplies. So stop by our showroom to view our full range of products or call the Home Advisor hotline at 602-0935 today. We are your home advisors.
Becoming a BTC postpaid customer is fast and easy. And what's more, by signing up, the deals are instant. Tell us about some of the deals available for postpaid customers.
Well, we always have amazing deals available for our postpaid customers. We have up to 75% off any device that we carry. And you can also get up to $300 off of a phone. If you're an existing customer, a new customer, you can get a free phone. And that's some of the amazing deals that we have at any of our major stores.
Let's talk again about switching over from prepaid to postpaid.
Okay, when you switch over from prepaid to postpaid with any carrier, you can keep your same number and you can come into a BTC store and your service will not be interrupted at all. Your friends and family won't even know that you made the switch.
And for new customers, what is the process like for them to become postpaid customers?
For a new customer, you just walk into the store, have a government-issued IDs, passport, driver's license, stuff like that. And once you do that, it'll be that simple. You could just visit one of our reps and they'll help you.
And tell us about some of the postpaid packages.
We have packages to suit any lifestyle and any budget. And whether you're homeschool, whether you have working from home, whatever it is, we have something here that will suit your budget.
So what are you waiting for? Visit any of our BTC locations and sign up and become a postpaid customer. It's fast, it's easy, and it's rewarding. These are still the moments that move us. I'm Corval Pyfrom. Be well, and be back here next BTC Connection.
Hammers and wrenches and drills, oh my. Do It Center carries a large variety of housewares, power tools, plumbing and electrical, hardware and paint. Open Monday to Saturday, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. Located at the Gold Rock Complex. Everything to complete that job this season.
Are you tired, overweight, having trouble sticking to your health and fitness goals? Well, look no further. The Fitness Connection has teamed up with Z&S to bring you Health Bites. This and every Thursday, tune in, and we'll make sure you get on track and stay on track with your health and fitness goals. Tune in.
Yes, sir. What you saying, bro?
Man, everything cool. Right here waking dead hot. What you doing for lunch?
You catch me here checking out this Z&S Shopping Network site? I looking at this out to sea deal.
Yeah? How do one go?
For $30, you get a $50 coupon. 20% off fish at the stand, plus you get $10 in minutes.
Man, you can't beat that.
Well, out to sea it is. Log on to www.znsshoppingnetwork.com. Select the island of your choice and shop anywhere, anytime.
Your #1 news team covering the North. The Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
Valencia Brown, you are our Facebook friend of the day. We appreciate your support. And that is going to do it for us here in the North. On behalf of the entire Z&S News team, I'm Shashina Wolf-Farkas in the Bahamas Tonight. Continue.
Coming up in the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report, the complete complement of the new cabinet revealed. Hear about the new education minister's mandate. The U.S. doubles its vaccine commitment. And what's next following the country's downgrade? Those stories and more when the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report returns.
During this pandemic, it is our duty to ensure that all citizens, residents, and visitors are adhering to the COVID-19 safety protocols. Every business establishment must have distance markers 6 feet apart, indicating where each customer must stand at checkpoints. Have a hand sanitizing station visible at the entrance of the store for all customers to sanitize their hands before entering the store. I am Ambassador Otario Farrington of the COVID-19 Enforcement Unit. Save a life that may be yours.
This message brought to you by the Ministry of National Security in conjunction with the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas.
This portion of the news is brought to you by BTC Superfast Internet for Less. Best rate, no debate. Sign up today.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Akush Lapindo. Welcome to the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report. Thanks so much for tuning in. The cabinet of the new Progressive Liberal Party government now complete. The second group of cabinet ministers taking the oath of office today, pledging to commit to national service. Keishla Adderley reports from the Bahama Convention Center.
The 21-member cabinet of Prime Minister the Honorable Philip Davis is now complete. 11 new appointments made this afternoon, including veteran Obi Wilshcombe in the Ministry of Social Services and political newcomer Ginger Moxie, who takes on the Ministry of Grand Bahama. Taking the oath of office today, the Honorable Obi Wilshcombe, Minister of Social Services and Urban Development and Leader of Government Business in the House of Assembly. The Honorable Keith Bell, Minister of Labor and Immigration. The Honorable Vaughn Miller, Minister for the Environment and Natural Resources. The Honorable JoBeth Colby Davis, Minister of Transport and Housing. The Honorable Ginger Moxie, Minister for Grand Bahama. The Honorable Mario Boleg, Minister of Youth, Sports and Culture. The Honorable Basil McIntosh, Minister of State for the Environment. The Honorable Miles LaRoda, Minister of State in the Office of the Prime Minister. The Honorable Pia Glover Roll, Minister of State for the Public Service. The Honorable Lisa Ramming, Minister of State for Social Services and Urban Development. And the Honorable Zane Lightbourne, Minister of State for Education, Vocational and Technical Training. Prime Minister the Honorable Philip Brave Davis is looking for interagency teamwork that gets results.
And I'm keen that we make every effort to be as efficient and as effective as possible in doing so. We must cut across the silos of the structure and keep our shared goals and priorities clearly in sight. Our team of experienced and new parliamentarians have already begun to demonstrate the kind of teamwork that is required. While each title and role...
Minister Obi Wilshcombe has been charged with shoring up the social services system that thousands leaned on during the COVID-19 pandemic and is looking to turn that dependence on its head.
Let's immediately declare war on poverty. Let's immediately work to cause for the alleviation of poverty. Let's bring relief and end the suffering that we're having. So we're going to create some equity as best we can. So immediately we're going to look at all the circumstances, look at the programs that are already in place, see what programs are working. Those that are, we'll keep. Those that are not, we will dismiss.
Minister of State for Education, Technical and Vocational Training, the Honorable Zane Lightbourne, is looking to shake up some stubborn statistics in education.
We have a grading system that averages our people with D, our students with a D. Even though across the board we don't have a single national exam, we know that that's not a good thing. And so we want to change that. Our performance in national exams and competition regionally and internationally, we have to give our people more opportunity, and that happens through education. We got to get them as children. And so technical vocational program also, along with the Ministry of Education itself, it's going to be very vital for us to move quickly, swiftly to rescue our system.
In Grand Bahama, former Grand Bahama Port Authority Executive Ginger Moxie is charged with turning the many challenges in Grand Bahama around.
Bahama has really been hurting and really challenged. And so our first thing is bringing relief, assessing the situation and bringing relief to those that need it the most. But beyond that, we have a serious healthcare issue when it comes to the Rand Memorial Hospital, and we need to bring that under control.
And in the public service, the Honorable Pia Glover Roll is previewing a more efficient and equitable public service.
I've always been a stickler for training. I believe that it'll be critical to have a public service-wide training where we address customer service, where we look at technology, and more importantly, where we look at civil servants being placed in their proper skill sets, in areas that would reflect their proper skill sets. Obviously, we would want to address the backlog in the Public Service Commission.
The Honorable Keith Bell will take on the Labour Ministry. Prime Minister the Honorable Philip Brave Davis said of this area, it's something Bahamians aren't benefiting fully from.
Far too many have, through no fault of their own, been out of work. And far too many of those who are in work have not been treated with the respect that they rightly deserve. Labour relations are at an all-time low. In all things related to jobs, employment, and labor relations, we will put Bahamians first.
Keishla Adderley, ZNS Network News.
Well, meantime, newly appointed Minister of Education, Technical and Vocational Training, the Honourable Glenys Hannah Martin, says she's looking forward to making changes within that ministry, stressing that equity in education is a big part of her mandate.
I'm going to start with the premise that there's a lot of work to be done to transform the way in which our children are educated and empowered intellectually, culturally, and as humans in this country. And so I'm going to begin there. I have to understand what the landscape is. I do have some idea of it. We know that during this pandemic, many children have fallen between the cracks, mostly from working class communities for various reasons in the remote learning environment. And so we're going to have to look at that very closely to see how we can begin to close that gap.
Bahamas Union of Teachers President Belinda Wilson says she welcomes the new minister, a woman who joins predecessors in education like former Governor General and Education Minister Dame Ivy Dumont. Wilson goes on to detail the plans and climate she'd like to see realized.
She and I communicated briefly last evening, and I await a meeting with her to discuss the way forward for education. High on the BUT's agenda is how communication will be improved with the Ministry of Education and the BUT. What is the plan for education reform 2021 and beyond? How will the challenges faced by thousands of students because of the inadequate and inoperable virtual platform be corrected to ensure our students get access to quality education?
Foreign Affairs and Public Service Minister, the Honourable Fred Mitchell, yesterday representing the Bahamas at a virtual meeting with U.S. Deputy Secretary of State Wendy Sherman, CARICOM Secretary General Carla Barnett, and CARICOM foreign ministers within the margins of the 76th United Nations General Assembly. Natural disasters, climate change, COVID-19 response and recovery, vaccines and other pandemic matters, as well as collaboration between CARICOM member states and the United States of America, and the COVID-19 summit to be hosted today by President Joseph Biden, all discussed. Minister Mitchell formally congratulated Her Excellency Carla Barnett on her appointment as the first female Secretary General of CARICOM. He also expressed support for the statements made by other CARICOM member states, particularly with respect to the pandemic and its impact on regional economies. The group built common ground on several issues, including the need for more structured engagement between the U.S. and CARICOM countries in the future, addressing the difficulties faced by small island developing state countries regarding climate change, natural disasters, the COVID-19 pandemic, and equal access to vaccines, and CARICOM member states continuing to collaborate and unite. Still to come, the U.S. doubles its global COVID-19 vaccine donation and optimism headed into this year's winter travel season. Those stories and more when we return. And remember to tune in to the morning edition with LaDawn Davis and Charles Fisher at 7 o'clock weekday mornings. We also have news updates at every hour starting at 2 p.m. You can then watch the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, at 6:30 and the National Report live at 7 p.m. All right here on the ZNS Network.
This portion of the news was brought to you by Sun Oil Limited Shell, fueling journeys that matter.
A lot has changed over the past 60 years, but at Commonwealth Bank, our mission to build lifelong relationships with our clients remains the same. Our customers are more than just a number. Our customers are our family, and together we create banking solutions that fit your unique needs. Commonwealth Bank, leader in personal banking services.
Across the Bahamas, we're more connected than ever before as we upgrade and expand our network, elevating your connection with BTC Superfast Fiber Internet. More people can access the best high-speed internet on our upgraded all-fiber optic network, providing you with a better experience working remotely, learning virtually, accessing more from home, and connecting with more opportunities. Visit our website or any store to upgrade to our super-fast fiber internet experience on the Bahamas' best fiber network.
KFC Saucy Wings gives you the choice. A precisely calculated chicken to sauce ratio for that perfect wing experience. Or a totally wild, completely coated sauce adventure that transcends traditional flavor boundaries. Whatever your choice, get sauced with KFC Saucy Wings for the perfect amount of flavor. Saucy Wings at KFC Nassau. So good.
This portion of the news was brought to you by McDonald's. McDonald's, I'm loving it.
Another 72 New Providence residents have tested positive for the COVID-19 virus, along with 10 on Grand Bahama, 8 on Eleuthera, and 1 on Inagua, for a total of 91 new cases on September 21st. Gender-wise, that's 50 females and 41 males. The new infections pushing the countrywide COVID count to 20,379. Meantime, hospitalizations are at 155, 24 of those people in intensive care units, 12 of them at Doctors Hospital, 6 at Grand Bahama Health Services, 4 at the Princess Margaret Hospital, and the final 2 at South Beach Acute Care and Referral Center. 385 tests were completed yesterday, 11 of them repeats. Well, one day after touring the country's main hospital, newly appointed Minister of Health and Wellness, the Honorable Dr. Michael Darvall's second stop viewing the current operation at Grand Bahama's Rand Memorial Hospital. Shoshina Roll of our Northern Service in Freeport has the story.
On his second day on the job as Minister of Health and Wellness, Dr. Michael Darvall is already on Grand Bahama touring the Rand Memorial Hospital as well as the 8 Mile Rock Clinic. Now, these issues are far and wide in these facilities. They include issues with COVID-19, low morale, outstanding payments, as well as access or the lack of equipment. But he says the government has a plan in consultation with the health practitioners. It was a warm welcome for the Health Minister, who is no stranger to Grand Bahama after having served as Minister of Grand Bahama from 2012 to 2017. The first stop was to the chapel where prayers were lifted.
We ask wisdom, knowledge, understanding that they will be able to execute their duties, their Father.
Then on to a thorough tour led by Administrator Sharon Williams of the various departments, including the COVID ward, the surgical wards, the cafeteria, and critical areas. The minister says there's a lot of work to do, especially in the face of a global pandemic, as he highlights what's most important at this time.
The first thing we want to do is to improve our healthcare delivery systems. We have COVID cases causing our hospital to work beyond capacity. A lot of other essential medical services are being neglected because we have to deal with the pandemic. I need to fix that immediately to ensure that we have outcomes and reduce the cases of morbidity and mortality that we are seeing in the northern region as a result of people suffering from non-chronic communicable diseases are actually now in a situation where they can't access the services.
Also high on the agenda is hearing the cries of health practitioners who have had a myriad of concerns that they say have been overlooked.
Between me and you, the health officials are the ones who have been carrying us for the last year and a half, possibly 2 years. They're exhausted. Some of them are underpaid. Some of them have not been paid. Some of them have been neglected. Some of their voices are not being heard, and we have to fix it. We are in this together.
He says his PLP government came in with a short, medium, and long-term plan to improve health services. The critical list also includes the age-old concern of bed shortages and ensuring that nurses are working in the right environment.
We're going to have to improve the bed shortages because we are determined to ensure that when local residents access this particular facility, we want to ensure that the medical outcomes are favorable And we want to stop the negativity that sometimes we keep hearing about the conditions of the Rand Memorial Hospital. We have to improve the image, we have to improve the quality of healthcare delivery, and we need to ensure that the Bahamians or Grand Bahamians everywhere feel comfortable to come to the Rand Memorial Hospital without fear of being exposed to any form of infectious disease.
The minister also taking a tour at the 8 Mount Rock facilities where he met with healthcare workers and was updated on some of their challenges.
We have some staff out right now.
Yeah.
It's not feeling well, so they have to do their COVID testing.
Expansive testing has been a campaign promise and one the minister says that the government will live up to. But the question remains, what will happen to the curfew?
You realize that one of the first things we did, we removed the curfew until 12 o'clock. A lot of people have criticized that move, but we feel confident that we must be able to juggle the economy and the delivery of health care. So once again, we are pleading to the general public. Please follow the public health care measures that we put in place. I would definitely be working with the Ministry of National Security to ensure that our protocols that are in place are policed.
Now, today's tour ended here at the office of the Prime Minister, where the health minister met with health practitioners in a closed meeting to address some of their immediate concerns. Shashina Rolf-Arkeson, ZNS Network News.
Well, the United States of America is set to double down on its commitment, donating another 500 million doses of the Pfizer vaccine to developing countries around the world, making for a grand total of 1 billion vaccines to be distributed worldwide. President Joe Biden announcing the expansion of the vaccine initiative at the UN General Assembly early Wednesday, encouraging, according to the Associated Press, other well-off nations to do the same. The stance comes as vaccine inequity continues to cripple the region, exacerbating COVID-19 cases in many countries. The Bahamas receiving over 120,000 Pfizer vaccine from the U.S. in its first round of donations on August 12. According to AP, over 160 million shots have been supplied by the U.S. to more than 100 countries thus far, with the remainder set to be distributed in the coming year. Well, with the country's COVID-19 situation still a major concern, the Consultant Physician Staff Association president is hoping a new Minister of Health will mean a new approach and more dialogue when it comes to tackling the ongoing pandemic. Here's what she told our Cleopatra Murphy.
Expanded testing for COVID-19 and additional staff to help manage new COVID-19 cases that have overwhelmed the struggling healthcare system, just some of the recommendations unions representing local healthcare professionals have made to the new man now in charge of that key sector. President of the Consultant Physician Staff Association, Dr. Sabrika Pinder-Butler, says Minister of Health and Wellness, the Honorable Dr. Michael Darville, met with the various unions on Tuesday, where they put forth their concerns.
We hope that we will have more testing. We hope that we will be able to make our surveillance and contact unit a bit more robust. We certainly need more help in that area. We certainly need more staffing. We'd hope that the physicians that were to have been hired, that they would have been here as was promised, but we are still waiting for them to come.
The country has surpassed 20,000 COVID-19 cases, with 512 COVID-19 deaths up to Monday, while in the midst of a third wave of the virus that healthcare professionals say has not yet peaked. As the country continues to battle the global pandemic, Pinder-Butler believes the response has to be stronger.
We knew, I think, from early on in the fight with COVID, that certainly when you're fighting a viral illness, something that you cannot see, something that can be transmitted very quickly, and certainly we know with Delta it's even more transmissible, and we're having a significant amount of persons that are being hospitalized and are dying, with our morgue being overwhelmed. Certainly we need to do a bit more, much more than what we've been doing.
The CPSA president says now that unions have spoken with the new Minister of Health, they are optimistic their recommendations will be put to use.
That we will be properly engaged, that the communication will certainly be there to allow us to be very helpful in this process, because we are still on the front line, and we know that, it takes a lot for these things to happen.
Further, Pinder Butler reasons it will take a team effort, and the unions hope to see changes for the better. If not, she insists they will continue to advocate in the interests of staff and the public as the country attempts to get a tight grip on the virus. Cleopatra Murphy, ZNS Network News.
In other news, much ado has been made about Moody's decision to downgrade the Bahamas, but local financial expert Gowan Bowe will tell you that the biggest downside to all this is the fact that the credit rating agency maintained its negative outlook, and that lends to the potential for further deterioration as well as a possible further downgrade. And this, he said, is what has to be addressed.
We have to demonstrate to them that, look, we have this under control.
Right.
I will tell you, I've had countless conversations with rating agencies, and the one thing they speak about, which a lot of persons are going to get offended with, is credibility.
Yes.
But not just the previous administration, the one before that, and as long as I've been speaking with them. And it's not credibility in truth about what the persons say. It is credibility in terms of, are these plausible plans?
Okay.
Are these realistic? And you know what one of the rating agents said to me one time? Say, boy, in the Bahamas, y'all could tell a good story.
Now, the negative outlook then is an indication that Moody's has not been given sufficient information to say the Bahamas has not addressed the worst of it. And this is what the new administration has to address immediately.
To convince the rating agency, at worst, we are stable, meaning we're not going to get any worse. And then it's going to take us time to build back, because we're not going to increase our credit rating in the near term. And when I say that, over the next 2 years, because we ran up as high as $1.3 billion in deficit. We have to see, how do we grow revenues? Well, we either have to do one of two things: grow the economy, whilst the pandemic put us into immediate depression, not just recession.
Yeah,
I mean that one.
Yes,
it's not going to be immediate. Everyone was speaking about a V-shaped recovery when we were last year. Globally, V-shaped.
Yes.
We see the letters now haven't even been created for what they see coming. Right?
Yes.
So we know it's going to be some time.
Meantime, members of the business community are viewing the extended curfew hours as a step in the right direction. President of the Bahamas Chamber of Commerce and Employers Confederation, Crystal Rutherford Ferguson, says the move can help offset some of the financial challenges business owners face.
Businesses will be able to remain open longer, and consumers will have a greater access to goods and services. Now, all that being the case, we remain cautiously optimistic that this will continue and may result in more workers being called back to work, particularly if this results in a high demand for both goods and services.
The Chamber President admits more than a year in and businesses are still grappling with supply chain shortages as a result of the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic.
Those sort of shortages are still a matter of concern for some in the business community. So we see that more globally, the supply chain has been impacted due to sick outs because of COVID-19, and that has a knock-on effect in the goods that suppliers are able to get into the country.
Bahamas Hotel Tourism Association President Robert Sandy Sands congratulating Prime Minister the Honorable Philip Davis QC and new Minister of Tourism, Aviation and Investments Deputy Prime Minister the Honorable Chester Cooper on winning the September 16th general elections, adding that the organization looks forward to working with the new government to reinvigorate initiatives. This includes the True True Bahamian Festival, the National Culinary Team, and other programs designed to support Bahamian entrepreneurship and ensure even more Bahamians benefit from the fruits that tourism bears. The veteran tourism executive's comments come as he told our caller Palmer today about the national tourism product gaining some significant ground in the very near future.
The COVID pandemic may have crippled the Bahamian economy over the course of a year, but it's slowly regaining its footing, and tourist arrivals projections are a big part of that forecast. Recalling 0% stopover arrivals for a time in 2020 due to border closures globally, President of the Bahamas Hotel and Tourism Association, Robert Sands, anticipates the numbers returning in a big way by winter of next year.
I think Moody's downgrade is a financial assessment. But the reality is, and then I'm speaking stopover visitors in particular, not cruise visitors. So I want to make the differentiation. The cruise business is lagging behind in terms of its getting back to pre-COVID levels, but certainly hotel occupancies are trending much better. I'm saying 85% level, so it won't be to 100%, but we would have caught up significantly by the winter of 2022.
Reportedly, for the first half of this year, the Bahamas has welcomed over 400,000 stopover visitors, which represents almost 70% of the total arrivals in June of 2019.
The Moody's report is made up principally on what they see as part of the tourism climate. Now understand that a significant part of the tax revenue of the Bahamas is generated by the volume of tourists that visit the destination. So if a significant amount of cruise passengers are not coming, you can't account for that potential revenue.
While every tourist dollar adds up, Sands reminds that stopover visitors traditionally spend more than cruise visitors.
The spend of a stopover visitor may be 10 times greater than that of a cruise visitor. I think a wide majority of the stakeholders are doing precisely what they need to do to generate business. But also, don't forget, we also depend on generating markets. And part of the obstacle that has been in place, a lot of it has been COVID-related. And with the opening up now of borders and air access and increasing airlift, all of this is pointed in the right direction to a constantly improving tourism sector.
Noting that hotels themselves do not make up the whole tourism plan, the BHTA president is advocating for the government to reopen critical auxiliary facilities.
You know, things like cultural places, straw markets, et cetera, so that the tourism product can be whole again.
Overall, Sands says he's satisfied that the business of tourism is headed in the right direction. Carla Palmer, ZNS Network News.
This portion of the news was brought to you by McDonald's. McDonald's, I'm loving it.
Tourism today. Bahamas tourism today.
The newly built Margaritaville Beach Resort now has discounted rates for residents and industry professionals looking to experience luxury for an affordable price.
We have a number of different promotions. The ones that I think are most attractive at this point are the Bahamian staycation or vacation package, which can be found on the Margaritaville Beach Resort Nassau.com website. That's restricted to people with a Bahamian IP address, so somebody coming from the States does not have that accessible to them. The other one that we have is an industry colleagues promotion, which is a very attractive introductory rate, really to let our industry colleagues see the property, anybody associated with hospitality and tourism. They are our greatest ambassadors, so we want them to see exactly what we have to offer here. The property comprises of not only Margaritaville Beach Resort, but one particular harbor, which is the condo building that has been open since December. That incorporates in JWB Prime Steakhouse. It also incorporates the Point Marina. We have a point market located in one particular harbor, as well as Joe Merchant's Bakery. In the hotel itself, we've already opened Fins Up Water Park, which is a very exciting new water park. Sits on 6 acres, looks out directly at the harbor. So one of the most beautiful sights is seeing the cruise ships come in and out. It's quite mesmerizing. In order to enter the building, we have to have a negative antigen test or a vaccination because we're letting people indoors and having people stay in the rooms. We obviously want to provide our guests with safety and security, and also our team members with the same safety and security. It's just a great, fun experience. It's a very approachable resort. We have we have available discounted parking here, so it's very convenient. You can walk here. The cruise ship passengers love coming in here. We have a huge Margaritaville store, so there's something for everybody.
For more information on how you can take advantage of these discounted rates, visit margaritavillesresort.com. I'm Joshua Robbins, and this is Tourism Today.
I just reached. I asked them now because they close in like 5 minutes. Okay, hold on. Oh, sorry. Hi. I heard y'all added more things to pay, like government fees or something?
Yes, sir. We're now accepting payments for Department of Immigration, Department of Labor, and the Royal Bahamas Police Force.
Okay, good. I come to pay a police record and a labor certificate.
Okay, no problem. What's the name?
Uncle Boogaloo.
What's the first name?
Uncle.
And the last?
Boogaloo. You in the system.
Are you paying by cash, sir?
Coins.
Pardon?
Oh, and you could put a couple of them coins on my BPL bill. They just cut me off last night. I don't know what happened. No. Hey, Uncle, you straight. Okay. Yeah, don't forget my horse fish now.
Pay your government fees today at Cash and Go.
When you want to save money on your tile supplies, who you gonna call? The Tile King. When you tile your house and you want to look good, who you gonna call? The Tile King.
Visit the new Tile King showroom, which is internationally recognized as the finest tile showroom in the Caribbean, located in the Builders Mall on Wolf Road.
The Tile King. Who you gonna call? The Tile King.
Tiles on everything.
Health is the greatest gift. That's where we come in. Bahamas Medical and Surgical Supplies is a premier distributor of medical equipment, as well as medical and surgical consumables. Our engineers are always on hand, providing top care service that saves lives. We carry a wide selection of over-the-counter and prescription items, IV fluids, and other injections. Our products are state-of-the-art, and our entire team stays on top of cutting-edge technology. With more than 2 decades of dedicated service, Bahamas Medical and Surgical Supplies continues to be a trendsetter and innovator in healthcare. We have set ourselves apart by truly caring for our customers. We understand the intricacies of healthcare, and we produce spectacular results. We cherish our partnerships and nurture our friendships as we continue on our quest to help everyone maintain that wonderful gift of good health. Find us on 9th Fifth Terrace, Centerville, right in the heart of the medical service epicenter of Nassau, Bahamas.
How's your day going?
In a word, busy. 6 a.m. gym, 7 a.m. breakfast, 8 a.m. drop the kids to school, 9 to 3 back-to-back meetings with working lunch, of course, 4 p.m. pick up the kids, 4:15 dog groomer. Oh, but that reminds me, oh dear.
Is something wrong?
Yeah, I double booked my 6 p.m. Charity committee versus helping out at the kids' ballet. Oh, it's a tough one. I promised the kids.
Which one are you going to reschedule?
Neither. Divide and conquer. My husband can handle his own on the dance floor.
It's a good thing your money's been just as busy.
RF, keeping your money busy with investment products and services that match your needs.
I love sunsets. Now that I'm retired, it's the simple things in life that are enjoyable. I couldn't say that a few years ago because I never thought of or planned for the inevitable, and I never considered the debt I would leave my family in.
BAF's final expense plan. Coverage up to $50,000 and it never decreases in value. Affordable monthly payments that never increase. Accidental death coverage and no medical exam or lab test required.
Now that I have BAF's final expense plan, I worry no more.
In news from the courts this evening, the Court of Appeal has upheld the conviction and sentence of appellant Kenton Ferguson, who's serving time in prison on firearm and ammunition charges. During the hearing, Ferguson challenged his 5 years and 8 months prison term on the grounds that his sentence was unduly severe. He also argued, among other things, that the magistrate wrongly allowed doc identification of him when no previous form of identification was conducted by the prosecutor. After hearing from both sides, the court dismissed Ferguson's appeal and affirmed his conviction and sentence. However, the panel varied his sentence to reflect the 7 months he spent on remand, which means he will now serve 5 years and 1 month in prison from the date of conviction. Staff at Bahamas Power and Light by no means exempted from the ravages of COVID-19. President of the Bahamas Electrical Workers Union, Kyle Wilson, says illness among staff members has at times crippled some departments.
We'd have staff members that even passed away as a result of COVID. We'd have entire departments wiped out. Even my department at one time, they had to even bring in some of the retired workers to come and take over because of the COVID situation. And so we're asking the company to really take this serious and to think about the employees. The machines can always be fixed. The machine, you can always buy new machines. Technology is always upgrading. But you have to think about your human element.
The union president also addressed the seemingly constant power outages, and this despite a multi-million-dollar investment in 7 new engines from Mozilla. He says access to parts continue to be a challenge, but don't be fooled. Outages also impact the company's employees.
I'm a part of you too. I pay light bills, and when I go home, I want my light to be on too. So I understand your frustrations. The union has been crying out to management, even giving our input as to how things can be better done. I think the company also needs to look at more solar and renewable. Look at the sun. Today it's a very hot day, and we could be taking advantage of this, but we're not moving in that direction. I think at least we need to have about 50 megawatts of solar alone. That's my opinion. And we have the facilities for it. If we look around, we have a lot of space. So we have the solar panels. Come on, we need to start moving in the new direction. And with the big brother in the U.S. saying that they're going anti-fossil fuel, we need to start looking in that new direction as well.
Prime Minister the Honourable Philip Davis QC among the many Bahamians offering up condolences in the wake of Reverend Dr. Timothy Stewart's death last week. Stewart was 64. The Prime Minister, in a release, described the popular Baptist pastor as a giant in the international religious community, a consequential national and community builder and leader, as well as a supporter of the progressive movement. In Stewart's capacities as a long-serving pastor of the historic Bethel Baptist Church, international head of the Progressive National Baptist Convention, and the Bethel Baptist Union of Churches, Prime Minister Davis says the late veteran clergyman provided a global platform for the collective voices of the Bahamas and the Caribbean to be heard. Well, the Prime Minister also extending condolences to relatives and friends of veteran trade unionist Dr. Thomas Bastian, who died earlier today. Bastian, the longest-serving president of the Bahamas Hotel Catering and Allied Workers Union, is credited with opening the Workers' Bank on Harold Road and keeping alive the Workers' Pension Fund, providing housing projects for hotel workers throughout the Family Islands. Touting Bastian as a giant in the labor movement and a nation builder, Prime Minister Davis says he always admired his good friend's conviction. And this, he said, expressed through Bastian's ardent advocacy for the rights and protection of the Bahamian worker. Similar sentiments shared by current Hotel Union President Darren Woods, who branded his predecessor as a visionary who wasn't short on ideas that made the union work. He was tenacious and a masterful player who played at the top of his game, Woods says.
Shell Unleaded improves your fuel economy, giving increased miles per gallon, allowing you to do more of what you really want. Special additives used in Shell Unleaded improve your engine's efficiency. So go further with Shell Unleaded. Venture out to beaches, Junkanoo, and festivals and bring home memories that will last a lifetime. Shell, fueling journeys that matter.
Everyone's excited about the $8 meal of the day. Every day, it's a different 6-inch sub, plus chips and a 20-ounce drink for just $8. That feels like fresh value. Come in any day of the week for one of your favorite 6-inch subs. Like turkey breast, meatball marinara, sweet onion chicken teriyaki, black forest ham, Italian BMT, oven roasted chicken, and tuna. Then add chips and a 20-ounce drink, and you've got the $8 meal of the day. A great meal at a great price every day of the week. Only at Subway.
Are you or a loved one under medical care? Do you need affordable medical supplies? Ports International is the largest home health care supplier. Medical supplies at the very best price. And you can even shop online. From hospital beds to wound care, wheelchairs to walkers, Ports is a one-stop shop for your medical supplies, and we accept insurance. We have online shopping and 2 locations to serve you. At the Airport Industrial Park and Shirley Street. We also ship to the Family Islands. Shop online and visit us on Facebook. Call Ports at 377-1771.
Join up for life insurance. Secure the ones that you love. Join up with Family Guardian. We offer full protection. Join the family. Join the family. Family Guardian. Protect the ones you love. A friend that you can trust. Family Guardian.
Recent COVID-19 dashboards show positive trends for the island of Abaco, as there have been no cases on that island for more than 3 consecutive days. The apparent improvements coming after the island experienced a worrying surge, prompting a curfew change to curb the spread. And now, after weeks of strictly observing protocols, North Abaco Administrator Therese Boudelaine says the downward trend is one she hopes will continue.
We're happy to see that we don't have a continued surge in our numbers, so which means that those persons would have adhered to the rules and would have isolated themselves to protect others. And that is the trend we want the island to continue to move towards, adherence to the rules, to the protocol, so that we can keep our numbers very low or at 0. And so that's a positive trend for us.
Now, last month, Abaco officials met with an overwhelming number of residents signing up to get vaccinated. And as another round of vaccinations start Friday, the North Abaco administrators hoping for the same response.
There has been more or less anticipation towards their return, not only because of the impact of COVID, knowing that persons would have died, but also because of the recent announcement made by the U.S. government for foreigners going into the United States needing to be fully vaccinated began in November. So that hit a core to many persons who travel frequently into the United States. And so we're expecting quite a number of persons to show up.
Crossing over now to Mayaguana, where residents are looking forward to the new Progressive Liberal Party government addressing one of their primary concerns, Crown land. Administrator Millie Dawkins says out of a population of 277 residents, as many as 270 live on Crown land.
In Mayaguana, most of the residents, or just about all of them, they have applied for Crown land because most of them are living on land that belongs to the Crown. And they have made application for it, but they haven't heard anything from it as yet. And their concern is now that we had an election and they haven't heard. They would like to know the government to give them, put a value on the land and sell it to them so they can have a piece of the pie.
Well, it's time now for a check on Family Island weather with Chief Meteorologist Basil Dean. Good evening, Basil.
Good evening, Makishla. Outside of our studios, we are under partly cloudy skies, a temperature of 84 degrees. Your relative humidity, 69%. We have northerly winds at 6 miles per hour. The barometric pressure, 1,011.9 millibars. It's 29.88 inches, and the pressure is steady. Temperatures around the Atlas this evening, they are brought to you by Family Guardian Insurance Company. We're protecting you. 84 degrees in Freeport, Grand Bahama, and Grand Turk Key, Marsh Ave, Abaco at 82. 85 in the Berry Islands, Alistown, Bimini, 84, 85 in Harbor Island, Roxanne, Lutra, Black Point, Exuma, 86, Camps Bay, South Andros, and Fresh Creek in Central Andros, all at 86 degrees. Artistown, Canalum, San Salvador, Rim Key, and Georgetown, Exuma reporting 85s, 86 in Ragged Island, Cloudenstown, Long Island, Crooked Island, Betsy Bay, Meguana, 85, Acklands, 85, Magitown, Unago, 84, and the Turks and Caicos Islands also at 84 degrees. And your boating forecast tonight is brought to you by Builders Mall, home of FYP, the Tile King, and the Paint Setter. In the Northwestern Islands tonight, light and variable winds, flat seas, but there'll be some light swells. The wave heights are around 1 to 3 feet. High tide, that will take place at 9:42 tonight. And in the central Bahamas, a more easterly flow at 10 to 15 knots. Wave heights at 2 to 4 feet. For the southeast Bahamas, northeast component, 10 to 15, wave heights 2 to 4 feet. And then as of Thursday through Friday, for all areas, we're going to have light and variable winds with flat seas. High tide takes place at 10:04 in the morning, low tide at 4:42 in the afternoon. That's going to do it for your boating forecast. Time now for your international temperatures, and they are brought to you by Royal Star Assurance.
Continue to fight, forgive them peace and love, and everything will be all right.
And that's going to do it for your international temperatures, brought to you by Royal Star Assurance. But stay tuned, your extended weather forecast is still ahead.
Keeping homes safe across the Caribbean for decades. BOP has become the most trusted name in insecticide. There has never been, or there never will be, any escape for insects from the unrelenting power of BOP. Formulated with precision, BOP effectively eliminates all flying and crawling insects that seek to invade your home. Trust BOP, the #1 insecticide brand in the Caribbean, to keep everyone that matters to you safe. Distributed by Nassau Agencies Limited.
Best rate, no delay. Best rate, no delay.
BTC gives more savings on the best fiber internet. It's super fast, with super savings in every package. Compare and see for yourself. Enjoy the best home internet experience for all your work, study, and entertainment.
Best rate, no delay. Best rate, no delay.
Visit a BTC store to sign up for the best internet experience on the Bahamas' best fiber network.
At BPL, we are champions of safety. We've developed a work culture that is committed to safety at all levels within our organization.
We're more than just co-workers. We're a family. And to safeguard ourselves from injury, we ensure that our junior employees receive on-the-job training from our veteran employees who are more familiar with our safety protocols.
At the completion of every assignment, our crews perform a routine inspection of our system. We then contact system control for the approval before restoring power to the affected areas. It's a shared responsibility for us. By following these simple but important safety protocols, we'll reach our goal of getting to zero. 0 on-the-job injuries, and 0 lost time accidents. That's why at BPL, for us, it's think safe, work safe, home safe.
You watch them grow and make plans for them even before they're old enough to talk. You spend a lifetime of sacrifice to pave the way for their success and create a tomorrow you too can be proud of. Can you tell who is the investor? At Leno, we believe everyone who has ever put a penny aside for a future dream is an investor. If you're new to investing, Leno's financial experts stand ready to design plans based on your goals. Let's sit down and explore the options one-on-one and see how, together, we can make your dreams come true. Whether considering traditional investments like a new home, car, your own business, security in retirement, or your child's college fund, we take the confusion out of the process and make an investor out of you. Call 396-3225 for an appointment. Leno, your bridge to the future.
This is ZNS Total Sports.
Welcome to sports. Well, the decision is expected to be announced anytime in the matter of days as Bahamian Jonquel Jones is the perceived front-runner to take home the WNBA's 2020-2021 Most Valuable Player Award. Well, today, some hardware coming a bit early as Jonquel was named the Associated Press Player of the Year for the WNBA. Also, ESPN releasing an article entitled Why Jonquel Jones is the 2021 MVP as far as statistical accomplishments, importance to her team and team success. Jones checks all the boxes. She put up a career-high 19.4 points, 11.2 rebounds, 2.8 assists, 1.3 steals, and 1.3 blocks per game this season. That was good for fourth in scoring, first in rebounding, and made her one of just 2 players to average a double-double. With Jones in the lineup, the Sun went 24-3. When she was out, they were just 2-3. Overall, the Sun closed the season on a 14-game winning streak to claim the best record in the league and home court advantage throughout the playoffs. Jones was without a doubt the best player in the league this season. If you're an advanced stats junkie like myself, you'll appreciate that Basketball Reference has Jonquel as number 1 in win shares and 0.1 behind Brittany Griner in player efficiency rating. So it's not a matter of if Jones will take home the MVP award, but when. Still on ESPN-related basketball articles, their top 100 NBA ranking piece has officially been released, with the site releasing players 100 through 50 yesterday. Bahamian sharpshooter Buddy Hield making an appearance on the list, coming in at number 51, up several spots from his number 87 ranking last year. Hield heading into the season amid a diminished role in Sacramento and a failed potential offseason trade to the Lakers hanging over his head. And while the writing may be on the wall in regards to his time with the Kings, the talent and production from Buddy Buckets is still there. Hield averaged 16.6 points per game for the Kings last season after averaging 19.2 in 2019 and 20.7 in 2018. He's still a threat from beyond the arc. But again, his role is dwindling in Sacramento with the additions of Tyrese Halliburton and Davion Mitchell. In the end, Hield's home still is in Sacramento, but it still isn't clear how long that will be the case. In baseball news, can Bahamian Jazz Chisholm get his first 2020 season? Jazz has enjoyed an impressive rookie season with the Marlins, where he has so far slashed .254, .308, .438 across 418 at-bats. during his 112 games played up to this point. The 23-year-old holds a .75 OPS with 49 RBIs, 18 doubles, and 3 triples. Where there are 2 stats in particular that have garnered attention for Chisholm: his home runs and stolen bases. Batting primarily at the top of the Marlins lineup this season, Chisholm entered play Monday night at Lone Depot Park with 15 home runs and 21 stolen bases on the season, chasing a 2020 season in his first full season in the big leagues. Chisholm has already stolen enough bases and even added yet another Monday night to bring his total to 22, still needing at least 5 home runs to reach 20 entering play Monday. Chisholm helped his chances in a big way with 2 home runs, bringing his season total to 17, still needing 3 home runs to reach the 2020 mark. Chisholm has 12 games remaining to hit the 3 he needs. 5 of those 12 will come at Lone Depot Park, while the other 7 will come in Tampa Bay and New York against the Mets. And that's been a look at sports, a check on weather when we return.
Open Monday through Saturday, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. with double stamps on Sundays at Super Value and Quality Supermarkets. Devon corned beef, 12 ounce, $2.49. Par Excellence long grain rice, 5 pound, $3.49. Del Monte cut green beans, 15 ounce, 99 cents. Boneless chicken breast, $2.89 per pound. Fresh tomatoes, $1.79 per pound. Take these groceries home in Super Value tote bags, 2 for $3.
It's Shay here, and welcome to our first installment of Alive's Community Corner. Not only is Alive a digital service provider, and beyond those great deals and services that we provide you, Alive is committed to the community. So here's a look at what we did for Mother's and Father's Day. This episode, and we look forward to sharing with you so many more of our community moments. So why Alive? Because you deserve it.
Time now for weather.
In our final look at weather, a very active tropics this evening. First, we have our tropical depression, Peter, which is moving towards the north-northwest at about 5 miles per hour. Maximum sustained winds at 35, and we expect further weakening of this system could become a remnant low pressure by Saturday. And then further in the eastern Atlantic, we have tropical depression Rose, which is moving towards the west-northwest at about 10 miles per hour. This too will become a remnant low pressure over the next 24 hours. And just formed earlier this afternoon, we have tropical depression number 18, That one is moving towards the west at about 15 miles per hour. Also have winds at 35 miles per hour, but we expect some intensification of TD number 18 over the next couple of days. Satellite pictures showing troughing remaining across the northwest Bahamas, so parts of the northwest Bahamas will experience pockets of showers and thunderstorms. And then we have a little troughing just to the southeast Bahamas, just around the Inagua area, which could fire up 1 or 2 showers in that part of the country as well. Tonight, though, we're going in for partly cloudy conditions, low temperature around 76 degrees, and tomorrow it's going to be partly sunny, a bit on the warm side, 88 degrees for your high temperature. The extended weather forecast keeping you in the upper 80s right through the cycle, mid-70s during the nighttime. Beautiful day tomorrow, but on Friday we will reintroduce some showers and isolated thunderstorms that will carry through the weekend and into the early part of next week. Kishla?
Well, thanks, Basil. And this programming note for you, a rebroadcast of the swearing-in ceremony for cabinet ministers will air at 8 o'clock tonight, followed by the program You and Your Money right here on the ZNS TV network. That does it for the Bahamas tonight. We thank you for continuing to make ZNS your #1 news and information network. Only the sun covers the Bahamas better than ZNS. On behalf of the entire team here, thanks for watching and good night.
You're watching the ZNS Network, the People's Station.